Welcome. Welcome to this session on what we've been referring to as M2M, or machine-to-machine, this new world of sensors. Some of you may not know that term. Some of you may know that term very well. Some people have heard the term Internet of Things, Internet of Everything, the Industrial Internet, the Smarter Planet, depending on how it's been branded by different organizations. You've probably heard these terms. But this world that we are now entering, or we've actually been a part of for many years, even without knowing it, is changing everything. It's changing everything in B2B in particular, but it's also going to change everything in the business-to-consumer world. As you can see by things like the Nike Fuel Band as a starting point, or Jawbone, these things are happening all around us. So we're going to be talking about here, Jerry Purdy and myself and
Bob O'Brien.
Bob O'Brien, sorry, are going to be talking about this space for a couple minutes, and then we're going to show some organizations that are actually doing things now, that are operationalized, that are live and active and running in this new world. So, Jerry, you want to?
Yeah, I'm Jerry Purdy. I'm Chief Mobile Analyst at Compass Intelligence, another firm like Forrester where Bert works. And one of our specialty areas is the machine-to-machine environment. And it's very interesting that when I sort of came along in mobile, things were like your laptop or maybe just your cell phone. And now we're finding that devices are able to communicate on their own to networks without necessarily somebody human holding them in their hand. And the infrastructure being built around this, many of the companies that are building that infrastructure happen to be located here. And I think it's because an expertise started in Atlanta, companies started investigating and doing work and building a business around it. And just like Silicon Valley has a lot of VCs associated with it, it's good, I think, proud for Atlanta to have a real strength in this M2M sector. And I think today one of our objectives is just sort of to tee up this session for you, that you're going to see companies that are actually making it happen today, each of them being given 5 minutes to give you an overview, and then we'll do a little wrap-up. Bob, you work with Orange on a global capacity. What do you see as driving some of these M2M business areas? And glad to have you here.
Well, thank you. So Bob O'Brien, VP of Network and eHealth Machine-to-Machine at Orange Business Services. So what we see is really a global need around machine-to-machine. In particular, where we've had success here in the States is looking at medical device companies. You're a medical device company, and you want to spread your R&D out by selling more across the world. And we've been able to do is enable companies to go into selling medical devices over in Europe, where they have different regulations, and in fact, in selling here as well. And so that's part of it you have with machine-to-machine, because now you're getting very personal data around a person, though we may be selling to the device company. They're collecting information from people. It has different requirements in different countries, and you really need to understand what are the regulations around that, around this particular data, where it can be stored, where can the help desk be. So and that gets into the whole ecosystem. If you look at kind of, when you think of a SIM card, it probably represents only what they're paying on it probably only represents 10 to 20%. It's really and that's where you get into Atlanta and why it should be really a rich area, is it's got that knowledge base. And the other 80%, the application, the web hosting, how do you take that data and make information out of it, has a great value.
What do you see as the reason Atlanta's doing well in this particular area?
So when you think about it, when you think about this new area, there are key sets of capabilities that need to be put in place. And one of those obviously is the ability to use the semiconductors that are the underlying infrastructure, the sensors, the CPU, the processing, and the fact that the cost of these things continues to drop dramatically. So it's cheaper and cheaper to put these devices in anything. That's one step. The others, and there's a lot of work being done around that. Then there's the application developers that sit on top of it, the platform developers that are building around it. So these things are all things that can be done in Atlanta, and they're already being done in Atlanta. And that opens the door to a lot of different opportunities, whether it's in transportation, in the insurance industry. So if you think about industry solutions, manufacturing solutions, and so on. And so with Atlanta kind of having this opportunity, especially with the telecom providers, all the wireless capability and the telecom space, that's another key attribute, another key capability these sensors need. And I'll give you a good B2B example, one that's actually been going on for quite a while, which is Rolls-Royce. And it's not the cars, it's the jet engines. And Rolls-Royce has loaded up their jet engines with sensors. And those sensors are then passing data onto a cloud environment that then passes on to Rolls-Royce maintenance crews. And Rolls-Royce maintenance crews for the jet engines know exactly when those planes need to be tuned, when those jets need to be maintained, and has developed this relationship so that when the airline wants to get their maintenance, they go to a Rolls-Royce maintenance facility, and that's where they send the plane because of all the capabilities and services they wrapped around this sensor-laden world. So this is one of the opportunities that's sitting out there just as one example.
I think that when you look at these 5 companies that we're now going to introduce and let them take their 5 minutes, I'll help keep things on time here. One thing to keep in, as Bert was just mentioning, look at where do they play in the ecosystem, in the vertical integration, and how are they going to market to be able to make a success. And hopefully some of you will gain information from what these companies are doing to either partner with them or to be able to learn from them so that you can take the experience to be one of the companies maybe next year or the after that are up here to explain. So if it's all right with you, what I'll do is we'll just start introducing these 5 companies, and they'll come up here and each make a 5-minute sort of pitch to you all on what they're doing in the M2M space. First off, a lot of you have heard and seen this new initiative by AT&T on Digital Life. And we have BETSY Francis from AT&T to come up and tell us a little bit about how M2M is happening and why this has become such a successful business for AT&T. BETSY, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. I have a few slides. And there they are. All right, so what is Digital Life? Hopefully by now, if I've been doing my job, you've seen our TV ads. So if you haven't, then let me know what programs you watch, and I'll make sure that we do a better job with our media buys. Oh, clicker? Okay, gotcha. So what is Digital Life? It is a 24/7 professionally monitored home security and automation solution. And so a few years ago, our chairman tasked our strategy team with building a solution, our next line of revenue for AT&T, something that was relevant to our business and made sense with the infrastructure and the assets that we had. And so Digital Life is what became of that. And you can remotely access your home from most any smartphone, tablet, or PC. You can add automation solutions to that base security package, so whatever meets your lifestyle. You can add camera solutions, so as Ralph mentioned in the keynote, keep an eye on your home while you're away from it, exterior, interior, both. Door solution, this has proven quite popular. Know if your garage door has been left open, let folks in the front door, lock the door if you've left the home without locking up. Energy, so in our energy package, you've got a series of solutions, lighting controls, thermostat, smart plugs, all sorts of stuff that you can manage and be responsible and smart about programming and remotely accessing all of those energy elements within your home. And then water, which is a real differentiator for this type of product, which is water detection. So if you detect if you have a leak in advance, and water shut off, so you can actually shut the main water source off if you've detected a problem. And all using this app that we built specifically for this, and I'll take you through a little bit of how that looks. So the core product elements is it's seamlessly connected, you're protected and in control, so through the standard core security elements, as well as having door access, knowing that your door secure, having video access. Personalized and flexible. We built a solution that you can customize based on your needs. And you can upgrade and downgrade that plan depending on how your lifestyle changes. So today you may need basic security, but in the future, if you have children or your lifestyle changes, if you are on the go, you may want to add more solutions. And lastly, it's super simple and intuitive. Anytime you hand the tablet or the smartphone to someone to run the app, they can pick up on it immediately. And so we used these guiding principles as we built this experience. So these are just some screenshots of what the app looks like. So your home screen, like when you log in and how you can see alerts. So smartphone, tablet, PC, whatever connectivity method works for you. All the users in your home can have logins and access. So whether you're in the home or away in Europe, you would have the same access and same view. Protected and in control. So as I mentioned, we will install it for you and we will monitor it for you. So unlike some other products on the market where you have to install yourself and monitor yourself, we'll take care of that for you and alert you if there's an emergency. Personalized and flexible. So from the time you're choosing your solution to the time that you're using it, it's really whatever fits your lifestyle and fits your needs. And so build your package online or in one of our company-owned retail stores. And go as little as security and go as big as getting all 4 automation packages. Setting rules is very simple. Based on how you live your life, you may want to go to bed program, you may want to go off to work program, you may want to I have teenagers program that shuts down the house after your teenagers have left because you know that they've probably forgotten to do that. And lastly, simple and intuitive. It's really easy to pick up anytime we do a demo. In fact, next door we have a great demo. You'll have to stop by and check it out. You'll see truly how simple it is. And so this is the experience, right? The app is the experience. The devices are cool, but they're just basic plastics and hardware. The magic happens in this app. I'm going to run for you a video just to give you that emotional connection of digital life, and then that'll be my close from there, Jerry. Video, please. I think. There we go.
Introducing AT&T Digital Life. Personalized home security and automation for whatever home with AT&T Digital Life. With AT&T Digital Life, home is just a cool off. Keep the fun going. Keep the fun going. Safe. Introducing AT&T Digital Life. Introducing AT&T Digital Life. Security and automation. Personalized for whatever home security and automation for whatever home means to you.
Sorry about that. It started in the middle and the sound was all messed up. So this is on YouTube. That's my close. Thanks, Jerry.
And the thermostat will only cost you $2,000 and $800 a month. It wouldn't work, but the cost of these devices is coming down, and that's made it very attractive. Next, we have Stuart Swanson, who's from Numerex. They do a lot of industrial and asset tracking, and he'll come up and give his 5-minute talk. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. All right, no video, so hopefully this will go well for me here. First of all, welcome and thanks everybody for coming out. I think this is a great event. I've been in Atlanta my entire telecom career for about 25 years, and I tell everybody this is the place to come to build technology companies and to find great employees. It's a fantastic environment. Numerex, as some of you may know, started back in the mid-1990s actually as Bell South Telemetry. Was spun out, subsequently had an IPO and went on the NASDAQ, but has been through the entire what now is called M2M or Internet of Things We've been in the business the entire time, starting with direct channel signaling and then going into the digital wireless world where we had SMS and 2G and now 3G and 4G technologies. So the company has pretty much gone through the entire gambit. The success rate that we've had right now is pretty phenomenal, and we just passed 2.2 million devices that are connected through us to the wireless internet. So in terms of M2M providers, we've got a lot of scale and we've got a lot of growth now. When I joined the company just 4 years ago, they only had a few 100,000. Now they're at 2.2 million, so you can see the growth rate. But we're really looking at an environment very holistically with machine-to-machine. And we think of the market as having three key ingredients: the device itself, which you heard earlier about the sensors and the silicon, if you will; the network connectivity, which provides the GSM or the CDMA or the satellite connectivity; and then the application. And we call the application generically, but this is cloud computing, this is software as a service, this is data analytics, this is big data. So the application side of this now is extremely important. But we do all three of these, and then we have a professional service group that pretty much puts end-to-end solutions together for customers that want to go to that extreme. In some cases, we do network only. In some cases, we're building entire solutions. So you got a great set of panel members here. I'm not going to talk about telematics, even though we do that, and AT&T just covered the home security market, so I'll skip over that. But I will talk about some of the applications we do that are more industrial monitoring, if you will, and asset tracking, and I'm going to do these very quickly. But one such solution, if you've ever thought about this, is water sprinklers. How simple. The controllers are out there. People typically program them every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every morning from 6 to 8 a.m., whatever. One of our customers now is putting wireless modules in the controller for the water sprinklers, and these are for big campus environments and large agriculture type use. And then in the back end, when we talk about the application, the big data, the cloud computing, they bring in information from the National Weather Service and all of the weather channels, so to speak, and they bring that into their big data, and then they figure out by location where it's rained, where it hasn't rained, what's the likelihood of rain, and then based on that, using the wireless connection, they program the water sprinklers to either come on or come off. A few dollars a month for the connection, and they're saving thousands of dollars a month in their water bill. It's pretty phenomenal. A second scenario that I think a lot of you know about is the smart grid and putting wireless modules into the electric meter itself. This is happening very, very quickly, especially in rural areas where it's very difficult sometimes to get to locations. But we all know about the meter reading and getting the monthly meter read so that you can get an accurate bill. Now they're also using the wireless to turn on and turn off this, so that if you're in an apartment or a second home or something that doesn't need electricity all the time, they can remotely turn on and turn off power now without going to the site. With tank monitoring, you see water tanks everywhere with the explosion of natural gas now and other oil production in the United States. There's a tremendous amount of tanks and pipes that all need to be monitored. This is rampant. Sometimes they're tank farms, sometimes they're individual tanks. It can be water tanks, it can be gas tanks. But we're doing a significant amount of business with multiple players in this space right now. And essentially, once again, you're saving truck rolls, and people know exactly when these tanks need to be refilled and what the volume level is, and it's pretty phenomenal. Another growth area, and I'll close with this one, is supply chain, and what we think of as tracking per se, but right now there's significant opportunities. We're embedding wireless modules into pallets, for example, that then ship the materials to various locations, and that's being coupled now with RFID so that once the pallets go inside a warehouse, you can track on a inside the building basis. You can do that with geofences, and it basically allows the entire supply chain now, as products are being moved, to be tracked constantly and to determine if there's been any theft or anything out of place. But these are just a number across, we're in 55 different vertical markets. We just touched on 4 here. So you can see the breadth of what's happening with M2M in the space. But I'll close there and certainly welcome the opportunity to talk to any of you after the session today. Thank you.
Thank you. Starting to get the idea there's success happening in M2M. Our next presenter is going to be Chuck Horne, Core Telematics, who you'll find is building a lot of lower level infrastructure into the M2M arena. Chuck, I know I've met you. Yeah, there you are. How are you? Good to have you here today.
Thanks.
Please welcome him.
Thanks for having me. A couple of things. Atlanta. Wasn't really going to punch for Atlanta, but Core started in Toronto. The business started in Toronto, but somehow or other we're all in Atlanta. So we're about 100 folks. Next slide. We're 100 folks, and the majority of those are. Did I lose the clicker? There it is.
What's that? Right side.
Majority of these folks are now in Atlanta. It seems like we've become a Georgia Tech recruiting ground. Everybody in the shop is from Georgia Tech. We're not the oldest guys around, but we're very quickly becoming one of the biggest guys around. In terms of ecosystems, a couple of my partners are here today. Verizon and AT&T are two of our business partners. Our business is about providing network services anywhere on the planet and any technology on the planet. So whether it's GSM services, 3G, LTE services, whether it's CDMA services, whether it's satellite services, whether it's in Africa, Europe, or the US, we're about providing network services. So all of these solution providers that we're talking about here today are our customers. We've got 1,000 solution providers who are our customers. And those guys run the gamut, all the references that are here today, plus 1,000 more across health industries, across asset control, payment processing, industrial control, utilities, you name it. So we touch a lot of customers with our network services. And these guys run the gamut. They're garage startups with an idea looking to get started. They're guys with 100,000 units on net that are monitoring healthcare solutions or asset control or fleet monitoring solutions. It's a wide gamut. And our play in this space, if you will, is not only to provide the network services and the right network services to these customers, but to act as a consulting group, if you will. We know the hardware guys. We're partnered with the hardware guys. We don't sell the hardware, but we know them, we work with them, we reference them, and we put them together with the customers. We know the app guys. We know the development guys. Again, we don't build the applications. We're the network guys, but we bring these guys together to build the solutions and take them to market. I mentioned that we're everywhere. There's just a quick snapshot of where we are. Obviously, the majority of our business today is domestic U.S., but we've got offices in Singapore, we have offices in Australia, we have European offices, we have American offices, and we have Canadian offices. So we're servicing a global portfolio of products and a global portfolio of customers. One of the main things, when you start doing business and you're doing hybrid solutions across networks and across applications, it's difficult to manage the supply chain and where you're getting all of these products, whether they're network products, whether they're hardware products or app products. The real value, one of the real values that we bring to our customers is the ability to launch, manage, and implement all of these networks through single interfaces. So you're managing GSM networks, satellite networks, etc., through the same platform. All the billing is through the same platform, all the management, the activations, your inventory, how you're managing that inventory, all done through a homogenized platform. Now, you can do that if you want to go cut a deal with 10 different carriers and 20 different service providers and manage all of those different platforms, but we try to make it easy for customers. build the platform, make the platform available through a series of APIs so they can integrate it directly into their own business applications and run it from a single source. Pillbox, digital pillbox, one of our customers. So if you're anything like my wife who nags me about, did you do this, did you do that, is it on the list, this is a pillbox nag. It monitors the amount of medication that is prescribed to a customer, either the account, the amount, the account, the level of use, did you use it, when did you use it, et cetera, and tracks it for that customer. And we'll all reach a point someday, I'm closer than most of you, to needing a little help to manage that pill supply, if you will. So managing your meds, and why manage those meds? Well, if you look at some of the numbers from this particular customer, you're not taking your meds on time, you're not taking them right, it costs billions of dollars in lost revenue for the medical industry. It also costs billions of dollars in additional expenses because you're back into the hospital because you're not taking your meds on time. What happens? I don't take my meds on time. My son, my daughter, my doctor is notified you're not taking your meds on time. You need a refill, automatically refills your meds. It's simple, it's plug and play. Fill your prescription, sit it on the kitchen counter or wherever you take your meds, and it's automated from that point on. So just one application that I wanted to spotlight. Next application, and these probably is one of the most common, familiar for all of us in the industry. Anything that has to do with the tracking and monitoring of mobile assets. And a mobile asset typically is a truck, a car, a delivery van, a cargo container, monitoring that asset. And that crosses the gamut across the entire industry, whether it's fleet management, whether it is providing insurance based on usage, and that usage is monitored based on the tracking of vehicles, the speed of vehicles, where you drive, when you drive, how you drive, etc. I picked a very simple, one of our small startup solution providers, Drone Mobile, and they specialize in this OBD device, which is a plug-and-play device which monitors teenage driving, when they're driving, how they're driving, why they're driving, etc. It's tied to your mobile app. Parents can track kids. They know where they are, where they've been, how fast they've been driving, etc. We service a whole lot of fleet solution guys and mobile guys. It's probably the highest use solution in the M2M space. Quick snapshot of what that app looks like. Again, real simple, and it was demonstrated earlier that it's all done by pads and phones and iPhones so that you can run the application, personalize it to your own requirements, and provides all this information to parents or to fleet managers, etc. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Our next speaker is R.J. Oglesbee from Verizon Telematics. Many of you say Verizon Telematics. I thought there was a company here called Hughes Telematics, and it was, but it got acquired by Verizon recently. So it would be good to get an update from R.J. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Jerry. Great to see you. Clicker. Thanks, Jerry, for the intro. And you're right. Many of you who know the M2M space may know us as Hughes Telematics. We were a true startup founded in 2006, and we were acquired last year by Verizon to grow the M2M space. We're Atlanta-based, and our life is about connecting vehicles, in particular with the major brands of the world. What you can imagine with a connected vehicle, we work very hard to bring to life. We design it, we build it, we run the services end to end. Very fun space, combining mobility, connected cars. I can't think of anything better to do. So as a startup, we were focused on innovation. Our portfolio of services that we provide in the connected vehicle space with major manufacturers started kind of in the basics, 17 services, very safety and security focused. And over the years, they've expanded up to 60 plus across a whole range of categories, from now apps in the vehicles to remote start, data plans, diagnostics for the car manufacturer, remotely updating software into the vehicle. And throughout this period, again, kind of focusing on innovation, it's part of our culture. We had a number of firsts. In the early days, when the iPhone came out, we happened to have a connected car platform to take advantage of that and launched one of the first iPhone apps with a major brand to then be able to lock and unlock your car. Even last month, we had another first. We launched the first embedded internet radio with a major car manufacturer that is not tethered, so it's embedded. When you buy a Mercedes these days, you don't have to set up your phone, do anything. You just get into it, listen to internet radio. A spectacular experience. And in our company, where we are in the value chain, we focus not just on the CDMA chipset or wireless network, but really the whole application space. Building the services end to end to refine the user experience to make it very pleasant and delightful. To do this, it takes a platform. So we've invested very heavily in a platform, actually globally, to be able to deliver all these services and tailor it to the car manufacturer space. Also, the way we go to market is as a white label provider. So you won't necessarily see Verizon Telematics when you go to buy a new car, but you will see big brand names like Volkswagen CarNet or Mercedes-Benz Embrace and other brands like that. So just to give you a feel of how our white label offering works with car manufacturers, I've got a short video.
The future of automotive, transportation, healthcare, insurance belongs to connected technology. Verizon offers solutions for safety, navigation, diagnostics, and infotainment solutions. Manufacturers can create unique bundles that they brand as their own, and aftermarket customers can self-install similar capabilities. Verizon, using technology to make a better world.
Thank you. And
You done?
got one or two more.
One slide?
Yeah. You can pull it up. We'll flip that. So our major customers, Mercedes, Volkswagen, Nissan, State Farm, and very excited. Our growth, to kind of relate to the Atlanta ecosystem, we've gone from 30 to over 500 employees here in Atlanta. So big growth locally, bringing jobs. We are exporting, so we're in 4 continents, taking Atlanta's knowledge and exporting to other markets. And got also a very pleasant announcement. A first for Atlanta Mobility is we are announcing a launch today. So we launched Mercedes-Benz Connect in China today, taking our first set of customers. So worked very hard the past 2 years to do that. I think it's a testament of the knowledge of Atlanta to be able to take that to other markets that aren't as far along in the wireless community.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
You know, from an analyst perspective, I suspect within a few years, every one of us will find connectivity in every aspect of the cars. We're seeing it in individual areas. It'll certainly become pervasive. Our last presenter is Steve Hudson with Omnilink. I've known Steve for many years, and he, I'll tell you this, everybody in this room has seen what they do on TV when they try to do, they're most well known for offender tracking. When someone needs to be put on control, Omnilink's the company that makes it happen. And believe me, I'm glad they've got the technology working so well. Steve, glad to have you here. I know it's part of what you do, but it's a big part. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the intro. So I'm not from Atlanta originally, but I got here as fast as I could. So what I'll do is run through quickly, if I can find the right way to do this. There we go. So we are a platform. I think you heard from several companies here that talk about combining the device with the network, with the solution. We do all of that. In the few minutes that I have, I'm going to try to just run right into the offender monitoring solution. So look down left and right. If any of your friends have a piece of jewelry on their ankle, then we can use them as a customer testimony here. But we do a lot. We track people and things. We do it through channel partners across about every industry you can imagine. Go into any Verizon store, and they're offering a product that we enable, which is a panic button solution for seniors for fallen and I can't get up. It's branded by the carrier, and we're the power behind it for the software and the solution. We do it for the National Alzheimer's Association to track seniors. We do it for the Amber Watch Foundation for kids. But today we're going to talk about electronic monitoring of criminals. So quite important and very socially relevant. And essentially, you and I as taxpayers like this because it defrays the cost of what we pay to keep people in jail in many cases. And it's very, very expensive. Jails are overcrowded as well by 150%, meaning there's just not space to keep those under supervision. And many are nonviolent, and it's okay. And in fact, those that do not go into jail often behave better versus going back into jail. In fact, the rate of reoffending, called recidivism, goes down on average when they're on a home arrest program. So this is a very, very good thing for society. You know, and the way that we viewed it is this is where we started. If we can track people that don't want to be tracked, we can track anything. Great outcome. And the way we do it is there's an ankle bracelet. It's, you know, for us, we're a bunch of entrepreneurs. So we really were thinking outside the phone. But it's essentially the guts of a cell phone on your ankle with lots of hardened technology to keep people from tampering. And it goes over the network using technology that when GPS doesn't work, because if you're like me and you use your navigation and you go into downtown or if you go indoors, it just doesn't work the way it works outdoors. So we use lots of technology and make it work when it's not outdoors. So we use cell triangulation, our own algorithms, and it's got to work, right? So then we present the information to the corrections and those that resell our service through a website, through a cell phone, through a tablet, whatever, so they can manage these folks remotely. And then we're 24/7. We're up in Alpharetta, and we don't have any page out. It's all about people in facility. When events come in, we monitor it. And very quickly, these are the kind of things that this market does. It's sex offenders. And what we find is those that wear ankle bracelets offend less because they're being tracked, and they know they're being tracked. So that's a good thing. Domestic violence. We do something very unique with technology. If you're using an ankle bracelet as a criminal, we provide a victim a cell phone or another tracking device, and if the two who are in the same city come within proximity to one another, we will alert the corrections officer as well as the victim so they can actually be on alert. We also offer it as a way to sell our service more to the judges who put people on ankle bracelets so that when they're when they're walking and traversing their route, they get a heads up if there's somebody they've sentenced to this stuff. So that's actually a way we get them to use our stuff. Gangs, if you're in a gang and you're wearing an ankle bracelet, they don't want you anywhere near you. So this is a way to get out of a gang. Pre-trial, parole, probation, house arrest. This I like because actually truancy is becoming a gateway crime, meaning if those children that continue to skip school and get in trouble, they go into the jail system, they actually start trading up skills with other people in the jail, and they come out with worse skill sets. So it's actually a gateway crime. So by using electronic monitoring, they actually attend school more. And all of these things are just really, really good results for all of us. So if you can cue up the video, it's by one of our channel partners who takes our solution and does the real work in the field to put them on, take them off. And we have several people that do that. But you can either click on the video or it's also on the tablet that inside that file. It's a quick video. So it's on the stick that I gave. You might just need to go right to the video file. It's a separate file. I don't have the stick. Okay. And Jerry, keep me honest. If we can't do the video, we won't do the video. But it's just an illustration. Okay. Technology. Our newest customer, no, no, we actually, yes, with AT&T, we recently announced that the connected car product that had been pushed by AudioVox through Sears and Crutchfield is going to be offered through.
This device didn't work, didn't fix it the first time. That is outrageous.
What about the cut and run problem? Does it happen, and how effective are you at solving it? That
Yeah.
meaning somebody says, "The hell with this, I'm out of here."
So first of all, before they're put on this, they're definitely sat down with by a corrections agency, and they show them where we're able to find them and where they are. However, it is a battery-operated device, and the FCC requires somebody to be able to cut it off because if something happens, you have to take something off your body in person. So I can't think of a scenario where anybody's cut and run and not been recovered. The data that we have in our system shows a lot of history, and it shows where they were before it happened. Mayor Kwame from Detroit actually was a full circle customer. He had a, if you know the story, he actually selected us out of a bid, tested it afterwards when he was put on home arrest on this same kind of program, took a beeline to Canada, and at one point did cut it, and they recovered them. So if you look up online, we can't stop people from taking them off, but we haven't had a situation where they couldn't. And it's a tool, so we can't guarantee what the outcomes will be, but it's over its entire use done really good things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for turning the mic back on. We've run out of time. Want to thank everybody for coming. This is a really good session to demonstrate that M2M is alive. It's here in Atlanta, and I think we can all be proud of it. If speakers would just come up here, we'll get a quick photograph. Thank you guys very much, and go on to the next session.